Hi, today I'm going to chat with you about how to handle the self-critical parts of ourselves. Hi, I'm Emma Coble, licensed professional counselor in Colorado. I work with high achieving, perfectionistic women in Colorado, Denver, and Florida as well. And so first, I want to say that if you have self critical thoughts, welcome to the club. You're not alone. I have those thoughts as well. Every person I have ever met has those thoughts as well. And we're going to explore today a little bit of like why you probably have those thoughts and what to do about them. So, I want to acknowledge, first of all, that having self critical thoughts can feel like a very painful experience. We often feel like a first arrow of pain when something negative happens, or, when we get reprimanded, for example, at work or something like that. And then many of us also tend to kind of criticize ourselves, which invites in what's called this like second arrow of pain. So we have the pain from the actual event, and then there's the pain we have for, we start to beat ourselves up for why we couldn't have, done a better job. Or sometimes we beat ourselves up for beating ourselves up, which I'm familiar with personally as well, because we feel like we know better and we shouldn't be doing this. And so it can feel like such a painful experience. And for many of us, we're almost traumatized by having this voice constantly with us that is shaming us and telling us that we're screwing up and that there's something wrong with us and that we're not measuring up and we're not enough. And it's almost like this just constant dialogue that's in our heads. And so a lot of us just hate this voice and we just want to like make it go away, essentially. We want to just like shut it off. We want to tell it to be quiet. We get really mad at it. And actually, I'm here to tell you that the way to handle this part isn't to just try and make it go away, but actually to try to understand it and get curious about it. So, if there is a self critical part you're noticing in your system, this part is likely a protector part that is trying to protect you from something. Um, and so, for example, perhaps you have a part that comes in and tells you that you're an imposter, you're going to be found out for not being good enough at your work, you're going to be fired when they find out that you're not actually an expert. And this part's with you all the time as you're kind of going about your job. And I would ask you, um, to think about this part like, what is it trying to protect you from? It's probably trying to protect you from, potentially um, slacking off and not doing enough, and then being fired. And maybe even deeper than that is being like socially rejected or seen as a not good enough member of society, which is one of the most painful things any of us can feel, is that we just don't belong and we're not enough, we're not good enough. um, this can often originate back when we were young. So, oftentimes these protector parts started doing this work of trying to protect us, maybe being really hard on ourselves about the way we looked or about our bodies to help us fit in a social situation, or criticizing us for, ourselves for being too needy with our parents because our parents had so much else going on and we just learned to sort of like push everything down. So there are lots of ways that these parts might have showed up long ago. So once we understand that these parts are trying to protect us, even if they're going about it in a way that is really painful for us and maybe isn't actually protecting us, we can start to have a little more space and relate to them a little bit differently. Um, Instead of shutting them down, we want to start to turn toward these parts with curiosity. So, what happens when we do just try to shut these parts up? When we ignore them, when we shame them, when we suppress them, we miss the deeper reason that they're there, and they often get louder because they just feel unheard. They feel unseen. They feel like hey, I have a message for you that I'm trying to tell you that, there's a bus that's coming that's about to hit you, aka you're going to lose your job and be ostracized forever, and you just keep telling me to shut up. What do I do then? I scream even louder. So these parts often just get even louder, even more scared, and you feel more disconnected from yourself. Instead, we want to relate to these parts like we would a scared child who's maybe shouting at us that there's a threat. Let them know we hear it. Kindly acknowledge, let them know, sweetie, I see you. It's okay. I hear you. Try to understand where they're coming from. So the first thing is notice this part without merging with it. Notice that this is a part of you. It's not all of you. And notice that it's here and that it's happening. And try to sort of just notice that it's not all of you. We don't have to be in it and merged with it. We want to kind of notice things like how we feel towards it, where we feel it in our body, so that we're not just totally merged with it. Then really ask yourself and ask this part what it's trying to protect you from. What are this part's intentions? What is it wanting from you? And really go deep with this. If it says, I want you to not lose your husband, maybe go deeper. What would be so bad about losing my husband? What's really so scary about that? And maybe start to peel back the layers, and oftentimes there's a deeper thing this part's trying to protect you from around worthiness, around not being good enough. And it's funny because oftentimes they're trying to protect us from not being good enough by telling us we're not good enough. So just notice that. So oftentimes, these answers that it has for us are tender, and we want to be able to hold kind space for that when we learn. So yes, offering compassion for this part and what it is trying to help you with without trying to force it to go away or correct it, just seeing how hard it's working and acknowledging wow, you've been holding a lot, and that's hard, and you've been holding that for so long. So that goes into the next thing, which is make space for the part story. So understand why and when it started to protect you in this way. Why did it have to do this? And does it still think you're that person that it had to protect when you were 5, 6, 7, and your parents were getting a divorce or whatever? Can you let it know the truth of who you are now, that you're a professional woman who is successful and in a relationship, and all these things about you, that you're resilient, you can handle pain, that you're okay. So we want to help these parts feel like they don't have to carry this burden anymore, not to make them go away. So oftentimes something that can be helpful is to give these parts a new role. What's the role they would want in your system if they didn't have to do this all the time? We're, again, trying not to fight with them, but to help them. And see if you can see what would help them. And for a lot of people, that's acceptance that they're allowed to be here, or a daily check-in or something like that. So I know how hard this can be to live with these parts, but truly when we can start to relate to them with compassion, they have less of a hold on us. So if you do need help with this is my specialty. I would love to work with you. If you're in Colorado or Florida, reach out for a free consultation, and I hope you have a great day.